Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots.
Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app.
Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Oh, it's a joyful Wednesday here. We're 1 week away from Christmas.
Yes, we are.
It's the joy of the holiday season here inside
that's nice.
WBC Podcast Studio. Oh, I love that. We need to continue that for every day the rest of all the way up to
the
Christmas
tea and crumpets.
Day.
That sounds like tea and crumpets music.
Do you have that?
My peppermint.
You listen to that?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
I know people that listen to it. And I thank God I moved
I
on.
was trying to. Okay.
All right.
Well, moving on. It's on to Tampa Bay now. And Cowboys are back to work. In fact, Mickey just got back from the locker room, I assume, right?
Mm-hmm. Locker room and doing my fan segment. Things kind of got collision there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you, what was more productive for you, the locker room or the fan segment?
Well, I have to produce on the fan segment, so I better be productive there, right?
I assume you get paid for that, too, so that's more productive.
But not enough.
Yeah, thank
Never
you.
enough.
We never do, right? Anything we do.
No.
Yeah, the locker room was interesting. There was a lot of people around Brock Hoffman. You know, he's kind of probably going to be the story of the day, just the fact that he's playing two position and his disposition that everybody talks that he plays with, and it's
Another Jordan Lewis.
pretty interesting. Sort of, yeah. He's a scrapper, and as the guys like to say, he'll stir things up in the pile or in the huddle. So
I saw him helping the referee out.
did you?
Yeah. He's
First down?
First down, yeah.
Let him know. I think he lets a lot of people know things, but he's a pretty good character, and it's just pretty interesting that a guy that makes the team as a rookie free agent had bounced around, got into the league. I think it was Cleveland, practice squad, came here, released, practice squad, and all of a sudden, not only is he starting at center, I started at guard, and they had to move to center. So pretty valuable piece for a guy that, had a pretty good college career, right? You said he was at West Virginia or Virginia Tech? Virginia Tech. I knew it was one of the two.
He was going to let you hang out there for as long as long as
it was one of the two, right?
You had West Virginia on your mind because they played in the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl last night here in Frisco.
I watched it till the end.
Did you really?
But I only watched the fourth quarter.
Well,
Man, that
and I
game
watched
started
the end
late.
It started at 8 o'clock. But
Is that why it was so late?
I did watch it to the end, and the only reason I'm bringing it up, did you hate the way the game ended?
So remind me, because
There was an interception.
Oh, yes.
All right. Interception at the end of the game.
Okay.
All right. It's
They're going to close it
so
out.
West Virginia is trailing 42-37. They're threatening, and after Memphis missed a field goal, and so they're driving down the field. There's plenty of time still left. Garrett Green, the West Virginia quarterback, throws an interception. Linebacker picks it off, and instead of just sitting down immediately, he starts running with the ball.
Yeah. You got to score, man.
No,
he wasn't going to
So he
score.
was surrounded. Okay, and so then as he is
Free
sliding
coffee for everybody.
As he is sliding down, he starts his slide and peanut punch. Ball comes out
From behind,
and West Virginia recovers. All right, there's still 8 seconds left, and it's at the 35-yard line, so West Virginia's going to have the shot. No, we got to review it. Okay, we review it, and the NCAA rule now is that if a player, doesn't have to be a quarterback, it can be any player on the field, if they start their slide, they're giving themselves up.
Yeah.
And so the fumble doesn't happen, the play is dead, and Memphis wins the game. It was the most ridiculous way to end a football game. They got to change that rule. The reason for the rule is you're protecting the player. They did not hit the player. Okay, and you're right, the quarterback. Okay, that's the reason for the rule.
Yeah.
But this goes for any player on the field because, okay, you got to protect the safety of everybody.
Yeah.
They did not hit the player. The rule should read, you still have to protect the football, and if someone comes with a peanut punch and knocks the ball out, it's not hurting that player one bit.
There needs to be a clear definition of when he is down.
And also,
Was the knee?
No, they had not hit the ground
Although it was close.
That's the thing right there.
You just have to. The knee does not have to be on the ground. Nothing close to any part of your body being on the ground except your 2 feet. As long as you are starting your slide, like you slow down and you're starting a slide, which
is the way it is in the pros for quarterbacks, right?
Right. For quarterbacks in the pros. That's right.
And so that's what they're looking at right there.
Right.
Once he even starts to slide.
Which is the way
I
it
was
is so mad. I didn't care who won that game, but I checked. All I watched was the last 2 minutes of the game. Okay,
I got a few more minutes than that. Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, it was 42-37. Okay,
West Virginia had a pretty good team this year.
They wound up 6-7. Then they fired their coach. Rich Rod's going back there. So
I'm surprised you didn't watch the whole game there, Bill. When there's a Texas
Seth
high
Hennigan,
school
the
quarterback, state champion quarterback, you usually watch the game.
Who was this guy?
Seth Hennigan from Denton Ryan High School.
Yeah,
His dad, Dave Hennigan, is the head coach there.
I remember.
And he was making his 50th start for Memphis, and he'll be in the draft, so that relates it back to the Cowboys. So
It'll be in the big green notebook.
It'll be somewhere in there, yep. And which brings us to quarterbacks in this league.
Quarterbacks.
The news last night.
Yes.
Oh, what precipitated that other than not playing very well, even though they kind of won a game, right?
Atlanta?
Yes.
They did. But have you checked what he's done? Kirk Cousins has done lately.
I saw that.
The last 5 games, he's thrown 1 touchdown pass and thrown 9 picks, and he leads the league in interceptions.
What the heck is going on with Kirk Cousins, man?
So Michael Penix is starting against the Giants.
Thank God they drafted him.
Exactly. And remember how much criticism they got? The problem is, why did they sign Kirk Cousins coming off an Achilles injury? He couldn't even pass a physical. And they gave him $180 million.
That's the deal. Not the fact they signed him.
It's the money.
For the
amount of money they
him.
paid him.
And he's at the end of his career
Well,
anyway.
he's
35, 36 years old.
justified for like the first 6 games of the season.
Yeah.
It looked good. You know, everybody was hot Atlanta all over again.
And then he turned into Kirk Cousins.
He turned right back into
right after they played the Cowboys.
Right after Halloween.
right.
But even against the Cowboys, 90. I heard this driving in. 97% of his passes this season from in the pocket. And of course, he's always been a pocket passer.
Yes,
but you go back to last year with Minnesota, I think the percentage was 83% of his passes were in the pocket. But he's not even going so far as doing a Cooper Rush rollout and throwing in completion.
He'd rather throw an interception. He'd rather try to force it in.
And I bet. And I haven't watched any of his games. I'm just assuming that he doesn't have the same leg power that he had before the injury. And those decisions that he makes to try to, hit a small window, he doesn't have the leg strength to put enough velocity on it.
That's just decision making. And that has always been his problem. It's decision making. That's when things get tough, and the window is tight, and that's with most quarterbacks. But he chooses, because he can't come out and scramble, he chooses to, let's just see if we can just force it in there. That's his choice.
So the Cowboys game was probably his last best game. He finished with a 144.8 quarterback rating in that game. 19 of 24, 222, and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And that was typical of what he was doing all before that as well.
That was another
he was really
game
playing well.
that needed to be won, and they lost by 6,
You're right.
27-21, right?
Bill, I'm looking at it now. Could you guess what Kirk Cousins' career earnings is?
Oh,
It's
Take a wild guess.
Astronomical.
he's getting
Well,
close.
so you're looking. What you're talking about is the total value of every contract that he's had. So you're
Career
including
earnings, yes.
you're including the $180 million, which he's not going to see the entire $180 million.
4 years,
thing.
180 this year.
Right.
But
Right.
even his previous contract was through the
Right.
roof.
So
He
the
sets the
question is
standard.
how much has, and plus he had the franchise year deal with Washington every year. He was maxing out
2 in a row,
on
right?
on the franchise.
Well, he's
tag.
making $100 million of this, by the way, because his total guaranteed for this contract is $100 million.
Okay, so
So he's going to make a lot of it.
Yeah, but he's
so
not making 180.
he's got to be around 100 million.
We're including 180 on it.
He's probably getting close to $1 billion.
I would
I'm
put him,
exaggerating a little.
okay, but I will put it at.
$500 million.
I mean, because he came in the league in what 2010 or so, 2011.
6 or
so
700
13 years.
$500 million.
I'll go 650.
Well, right here it says 294, but still.
Oh, well, that's nothing.
294.
Career earnings $294 million.
Well, that's not bad.
Counting this 100.
I mean,
I
I
mean,
went,
that-
I
that's a
went and
standard-
looked. I went and looked up Tom Brady over his career.
Well, yeah, but
And
he
now-
took.
I understand. His was $300 million. So
He could have commanded 600.
Yeah.
he probably
Yes,
could have got
he
600.
could
He
have.
probably got 600. He's getting probably about 600 million from Fox, I believe.
He's probably still getting paid by the Patriots.
Anyway,
He should be.
But there you go.
I was
But
just
I-
thinking,
but I agree
is-
with
Is
you.
he a
It
Hall of Famer? 294 million.
Who?
His agent is.
Who? You mean Kirk?
Kirk Cousins
Oh,
is he a
no,
Hall of
No
Famer?
Hall of Famer. No Hall of Famer.
But his agent is $294 million.
Well, back then, when he was getting those franchise tags, we thought it was a lot, but it was probably 30,
I will say this, though.
30 million, somewhere in there.
okay. So what Atlanta did, and this is going to relate to the Cowboys here going forward now with a quarterback in his 30s, okay? And you look at what Green Bay has done, not only with Jordan Love this time around, but with Aaron Rodgers when they had Brett Favre. The value of the quarterback position in this league, and it gets back to what you said, Everson, that it was a great pick, assuming Michael Penix is what they think he
Right.
is. I liked the pick at the time, even though there was so much criticism. But you have to. That's such an important position that you have to get it right, and otherwise you have what Mickey experienced being a Chicago Bears fan forever and ever.
Packers fan.
Oh, I'm sorry, living in Chicago forever and ever.
Yes.
So you were a close observer of the Bears not having a quarterback for years and years and years.
Even when they won the NFL title, Billy Wade wasn't exactly a franchise quarterback, right? You had to go back to Sid Luckman.
No, boy, you're bringing up some names here.
But as I would relate,
But that's how bad it was. at
But as
quarterback.
I would relate it to the Cowboys going forward, now Dak's got his new 4-year contract kicks in next year in 2025. But as you go forward, I think the Cowboys need to be really looking at first-round quarterbacks if they like one that's available there.
So here's how this also affects the Cowboys. Because remember, even if they win all 3 games, they need Washington to lose all 3 games. And next week, Atlanta plays at Washington.
And Atlanta clearly believes that they have a better chance of beating Washington with Michael Penix at quarterback than Kirk Cousins, because they don't make this one. They're a game out. They're right in the hunt for
know.
the division.
That's amazing how you can just be on top of the world at one moment and to just dive so quickly and Oh, my goodness. I didn't know 1 touchdown versus 9 interceptions.
In the last 5 games.
Oh, my goodness. What is going on with Kirk Cousins? I mean, he's got good wide receivers. It's not like they have
running game.
The running
Bijan
game still
and
good.
Algier.
Right? They must have had some injuries on the offensive line for him to all of a sudden be so ineffective. With wide receivers that are extremely capable. What's the guy's name? Mooney? Darnell Mooney. Mooney, he's a heck of a player. And that's going 15 points.
Drake London, and they got the fourth pick in the draft, tight end Kyle Pitts.
And as we pointed out yesterday, Washington had Philadelphia, Atlanta, and Dallas left to play. Mm-hmm. Now, playing Atlanta with a rookie quarterback who has not really played. I wonder how many snaps he's got.
He's 3 for 5 throwing.
That's it.
Yeah. And he didn't play much in the preseason either.
Washington would be embarrassed if they lost that game.
But what if Penix lights it up against the Giants?
Go back to his days a
lot of people
in
really
college,
liked him.
right?
Yeah, I mean, he was good though. He's up for the Heisman. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. That's a tough one, though. I mean, it's not helping us much.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. But I'm hoping it does.
Although I'll have to take Atlanta's, since we're not watching Atlanta on a weekly basis, we'll take their word for it that they have a better chance of winning with Penix than Cousins. So maybe it does help the Cowboys.
Maybe.
Their defense better play their asses off.
Mm-hmm.
Although we don't want them to, if the Cowboys win all 3, we don't want Atlanta to win all 3.
What I'm looking forward to,
and they don't want them to win 2 either.
What I'm looking forward to is when Atlanta goes to Washington and Michael Penix lights it up, and then Kirk Cousins comes off the field and tells the media in Washington, "You like that? You like that?" All right, we continue with more Mick shots in just a moment.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mick Shots.
The 2025 NFL Pro Bowl games are taking over Orlando, and the roster is up to you. Cast your ballot for 2025 Pro Bowl votes and send your favorite Dallas Cowboys players to compete in the ultimate AFC versus NFC showdown. This February, vote now at probowl.com/vote.
All right, so Cavante Turpin will enjoy that week in Orlando.
I believe that, Bill.
I asked him today, I said, don't you wish that somebody would attempt a 70-yard field goal against you guys?
Oh, man.
And he goes,
they wouldn't do it.
I'd be just waiting for that.
They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. They would not do it.
I said, you get the chance to return against all those offensive linemen? He goes, oh, man, I know how to set them up.
No, I don't think any special teams coach would do that. I don't think they would do it. Well, not to us.
Because of him, right?
Yeah, not to us.
But it sounded like, when Faso was talking about it the other day, that, if they get the right circumstance, they wouldn't hesitate to try again. And I think I pointed it out, but he pointed it out that, the direction they went, he was kicking, that was where the wind was, and that's where he was struggling warming up. And, he didn't say this, but I'll say it, the ball was cold. And he said that Aubrey...
I thought right away it was too cold for them.
Yeah. And he said Aubrey actually lined up a little further back, and he took a skip step before he started his regular steps, like he knew he was going to have to power it through the wind. And that kind of threw off his normal swing.
Right.
Because it was a lower trajectory, which if they had anybody 6'7" on the line, they probably could have blocked it. But he hit it hard. It was he
overswung.
But he overswung. Yeah. That was like when you're playing golf and it's a par 5, 500 yards, and you go, okay, I got to really hit this thing.
It's the one where there's a car. You can win a truck over there on a par 3, but that par 3 is about 200 yards. So you got your hybrid.
You got to muscle up, right?
Yeah, you got to muscle up. That's kind of like that.
I did that once playing with this guy who was a very particular golfer, and and everything was just had to be perfect. And he hit one, and then I went up and I hit my drive, and I grunted. Like I was trying to put more into it.
These young guys out there, they just, I'm going to take my pitching wedge and hit this 200 yards.
Yeah.
Like, hold up, man. No, that's not happening.
Yeah, you try too hard and then it doesn't pay off.
The NFC Offensive Player of the Week this week. Any guess who that might be?
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. His numbers on the season. He is third in the league in completion percentage at 70.8%.
For the season?
Yes. Fourth in the league in passing yards, 3,883. He's fourth in touchdown passes, 35. Total touchdowns, 35. Passing first downs, he's fourth in the league at 182, and passer rating sixth at 104.1. That's the kind of season Baker Mayfield is having for Tampa Bay, headed here on Sunday night.
This is not the first time they've played a quarterback coming off the NFC Player of the Week award, I think. I kind of remember that. I don't know who
Detroit
it was.
Lions.
Maybe. But that's happened before. And again, although Jordan Lewis, and guys, and you know this, he's not going to say, well, I can't play. Oh, yeah, I'm good to go. I can play through this. It's like, okay.
And his shoulder?
Elbow.
Yeah, he can play through it.
I was told if he's a pitcher, he would be sidelined.
Right. But he ain't. The only thing he's throwing is blows. Scrappy as he is, he out there throwing hands. He's not.
Somebody asked him why he was so scrappy. He goes, because growing up, I was always small.
You can see it. He's got that, what they call it, Napoleonic complex.
You got to try harder.
Yeah.
So,
cornerback?
Yeah. So what is it that Jordan is dealing with?
Elbow.
Okay.
That's why I said if he was a pitcher, he'd probably be sidelined. But he doesn't have
need
to
Tommy
throw.
John surgery?
Yeah, maybe. Just wrap that sucker up.
So what are you thinking on cornerback?
Well, if he can play.
He's going to play.
He'll play.
Yeah.
Then, and I don't know enough about Tampa if they go 3 wide all the time. But for 2 wide, I'd put him out there at cornerback. So you got Bland, Lewis.
Yeah, so what's going on with Oruwariye?
We'll find out today. if he's able to practice. What was it? No, he wasn't a back. It was Butler that had the back. I'm trying to remember what his injury was. But if he can't play,
can we get a roster? What are we looking at here, DB wise?
Well,
because
so you're one DBs or just corners?
DBs. I'm talking about the entire defensive backs.
The guys that they would trust would be Mukuamu. I don't know.
And the safety position has been healthy.
But the safety position might be compromised because you might need a safety to drop down.
So with Malik Hooker, I say healthy. They've already lost Marquise Bell.
And I don't think
Wanye Thomas
is not ready to play.
But as far as the starters, they've been healthy. Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson. Mm-hmm. And then you've got Mukuamu, who is a
kind of between guy. Can do a little of each.
And then at corner, you've got your starters last week, Deron Bland, and then Jordan Lewis and Amani Oruwariye.
And then after that, it's Andrew Booth, who's somebody.
We're not just talking about who's on the roster.
I'm talking
who's healthy.
We're talking healthy guys now.
Yeah.
These are active guys.
Okay.
And if Oruwariye can't play, then the next healthy guy on the 50. No, he was being elevated from the practice squad, but I think that was his third one because the first two, they elevated him to make him inactive.
Yes.
You're talking Booth?
Booth, yes.
We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Go ahead.
Cam Hall.
Keemon Hall.
He's really a special teams guy.
But when he played in the preseason, he was in the slot. And he had a pick six in one game in the preseason. But he basically was a slot corner.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, they signed two guys to the practice squad.
Delaney and Troy Pride were signed on December 3rd. Delaney, who's a veteran guy in the league, and Troy Pride is a bigger guy. He's almost a cross between a safety and a corner.
I just can't believe they would trust Booth out there. I mean, Carolina knew. As soon as he got on the field, I think the first three passes were to his side.
And they should be. Right? No, that's just good coaching.
So, yeah, that's and now you got to play the defending NFC offensive player of the week.
Mm-hmm.
He's the defending.
He's defending it.
His weekly crown.
Yeah. Can you get two in a row? So, yeah, you better get pressure. I mean, I think that's my solution.
Well, I'll tell you this. I think as much as we are weak in our secondary, I don't think they're going to try to attack us with the pass. I think they're going to try and run on us because, they're playing away from home. Mm-hmm. I think they feel more comfortable keeping our offense off the field and keeping our crowd quiet. And the best way that's been done in Cowboys Stadium in the past has been to run the ball down our throats. I think that's going to be their entire offensive game plan. Of course, they can do some things with Baker, but they're going to choose to run this ball on us. Because Bucky Irvin is balling. They are blocking their butts off up front.
He's averaging 5.6 a carry, and he already has 6 rushing touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. And he is a shifty little dude.
Well,
rookie out of Oregon. Sorry.
Oregon. Osa better strap it on tight.
Mm-hmm. And so when you start talking about Jordan Lewis, they know what's going on with him. They know his elbows. They're going to run at him. You think he's tough? They're going to run at him. This is going to be just like the playoff games. They're going to come in here and run that ball on us and try and keep us quiet. And
then on the other side of that is Deron Bland's going to have to be. I mean, he's got to go after Evans, right? Mm-hmm. They don't have anybody else.
No. Unless you're going to end up just playing zone.
And if you're playing zone on the other side or trying to hide, that's going to be difficult.
And, these guys, they're playing well. We've got some guys in the secondary that are playing well. I'm I'm not afraid of our cornerback.
Now, one thing about Baker, he will turn it over.
How many interceptions?
14 interceptions.
No doubt.
14 picks, 32 touchdown passes.
Well, that's 2-1.
Yeah, he's not bad.
But
no.
I mean, it's still
Yeah.
it's an interception a game.
Yeah. And when didn't he have a bunch in one
Well,
recent?
we know how he is. I mean, he's
Gunslinger.
Gunslinger, exactly. And he's a streak passer. He's a streak passer, and we can work with that.
Just got to get pressure on him.
And he is that guy that loves to scramble and make his own play, improvise as much as he can. But I've seen it, and you guys have seen it as well, where he can be a little bit, a little hungry sometimes, a little greedy. And sometimes he gets out of that pocket, and he feels like he's invincible. And that's when you can take advantage of him.
You know, not just Bucky Irving, but Rashad White, he's still healthy. And I'm looking at their game against the Chargers. And Bucky Irving went for 117 yards on 15 carries, and Rashad White 64 yards on 15 carries.
So we have our own running back, like our running back.
So if the other thing I was trying to remember, and I almost forgot the guy. If they have to go 3 linebackers because they're running it, then Damone Clark's going to have to play more than just special teams. I did too. I was thinking Buddy Johnson was up next, right? But he would have to play because last week Zimmer said when Kendricks wasn't practicing, and evidently he had some personal issues going on, family stuff.
This is who?
Kendricks.
Okay.
That they were practicing Leofau as the middle linebacker. So now he's got his job in Kendricks, and if you got to go 3, then I would imagine Clark is the next guy up if they got to go 3 linebackers. So, yeah, the injuries. And when I was on the Fan, they said there was some report out there on Overshone. He had his surgery, and I think the physician or the surgeon that did it suggested that he could be back sooner than what's been projected. Do you see anything on that?
I do, from Jordan Schultz, the Schultz report. Cowboys standout linebacker DeMarvion Overshone underwent successful knee surgery with Dr. El Trache, and there's hope he could return by mid to late next season. A far more optimistic timeline
mid to late next season
than initially expected.
When they told me, it sounded like he's going to be back for the start of the season. So he ended up going to that. Say the surgeon's name again.
I have no idea if I'm saying it correctly.
Well,
Dr.
better than I could.
El Trache.
Evidently, he did his ACL surgery last year. So the agent was like, well, we feel more comfortable. The agent's from L.A. He knows the doctor. So he did the surgery there instead of going to Dr. Cooper, who people from all over the country come to here to get their ACL repaired. Even he did the Cubs. Was he a right fielder, first baseman Schwarber? The year they won the World Series, he got hurt in April, and he came to Dr. Cooper, and he was DHing by the time the World Series started. Yeah, hitting home runs too. And I think.
But could he tackle anyone?
Yeah.
Could he go sideline to sideline?
You only got a DH, Bill. That's all you got to do. And if you hit home runs, you don't have to slide.
And in football, your designated hitter has to be able to run before he hits.
I'm not saying that he did such a great job that he could have played football. He got him back on the field within
90 feet. 5
or 6 months. Yeah.
He can trot. Yeah. All right, we continue with more mixed shots in a moment.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company.
To Mick Shots.
The Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, presented by Nationwide, recognizes players who do so much more both on the field and in the community. Help Dallas Cowboys nominee Zach Martin raise funds for a charity challenge vote on NFL.com/Man of the Year, or tweet your support using the hashtag WPMOY challenge. Voting ends on January 6th. Vote for Zach.
All right, let's do it.
Sounds good. Oh, yes, here's our return music. We get you ready for the holiday season, which is here. I haven't hung out at Tostitos Championship Plaza this year. I bet it's a festive atmosphere out there. Have you been out there?
Yes, twice.
All right.
Sun's shining right now, y'all.
All right, I got a question before we get back into football here in the last couple of minutes of the show. Did you watch the basketball last night?
I did.
Okay.
I watched some of it.
Did you watch the trophy ceremony afterwards?
I did not, no.
They had a trophy ceremony. They cleared the court.
Yes.
For this NBA
I think
Cup.
I saw some family members out there.
All right. That game, the whole concept of the in-season tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So you fell for this stuff?
First of all, I just like basketball.
Right.
So
Right.
basketball to me, I don't care.
Yeah.
But I do know that there's
the whole
this
thing
beef that the media has with this tournament, and I'm trying to figure out. I'm glad you brought this up.
Yeah.
What is the beef that the media has with
all right, this game
tournament?
last
I just
night.
like basketball. I don't
but
care.
this game last night, okay, and they're having a ceremony after the game where, okay, you're given an MVP for this in-season tournament.
And you get $500,000.
Yeah, and
Everybody gets
do you care that those players make an extra $500,000? How much of that are you getting?
No. You don't care what the players make. You care that they have something to play for.
So they have an incentive
you care
to
about
actually
their
play
incentive.
in these games.
Yeah.
See, that's the beef I have with the whole thing is that the NBA's having to give the players incentive to play in games leading up to this whole thing.
No, they're
so
playing in the game that's separate from the regular schedule. So based on that, I think they're treating it properly.
So
now,
you think
this ceremony?
So you think as a fan that you're getting a better game because the players
what the hell
are.
Was that, bro?
What
was that?
No, it was vibrating.
Oh, okay. All right,
that you watched a more competitive game last night because the players had something to play for.
I do.
Okay.
But let me say this: I still thought it was a boring game.
Right.
It was a boring game.
Yeah. Oklahoma City they had their worst game of the year.
What the heck was going on with that?
But regardless.
And Milwaukee hadn't been doing jack all year.
But my point on it is the NBA, because the season is so long, they're having to trick it up.
Oh, there's no doubt that's what they're doing.
In order to generate some interest.
But that's
in
their
these-
job.
Think-
That's their job.
Think about it. If it wasn't a whatever pseudo tournament, you probably wouldn't have paid attention.
Oh, I didn't. I wasn't paying attention.
I know,
Anyway. The only reason it caught my eye was they were doing a ceremony at the end of the game, giving out a trophy
you
like
didn't
they
see
just,
the game.
like they
You
just
saw
won
the
the NBA
ceremony.
championship.
No, they won $540,000 each,
But that,
And
okay,
that
that's
is
fine.
something to celebrate.
and supposedly half of it's supposed to go to a charity
Oh, that's nice.
or your choice,
Oh, that's nice.
or your own charity, like me.
like your Christmas fund, like for your kids.
That'll make you
like the church
And see,
building fund.
that'll make you play hard. By the
So
way.
I have a suggestion to the NBA because the way they've set it up is it's like Tuesday. The group play was the Tuesday games, the first couple 3 weeks, 4 weeks of the season, and then the Friday games were involved. It's like you're just picking.
It would have
game.
been more exciting if the Mavericks would have been in.
No, let's do this.
That's
they were close.
I know. But to me, I would have been more interested. Now, Bucs fans might be extremely interested because they made it.
Here's to generate interest because they're going up against football season.
Yeah.
And people don't. And the only reason that they get anybody watching is on the midweek games this time of the year. No one's watching the NBA on the weekend going up against the Cowboys.
Tuesday night.
Yeah.
That was
But
Tuesday
Tuesday,
night.
Wednesday, whatever. Okay. Go ahead and count every game. And then you can have your little tournament over a week-long span where you've got the knockout round and you qualify, and then you got knockout round, semifinal, finals. And do it that way where every game counts leading up to it. And then you're actually playing like a beginning of the season tournament because it's another 6 months before you crown your champion for the whole season.
So this is the perfect time to do it then.
No, that's fine. And so I got no problem doing it. If they'll just use every game, okay, and then you got your best teams, but just picking games at random, okay, we're going to play group play on this too. It'd be like in the NFL. Like, we're going to take week 2, week 4, and week 6, we're going to play group play. Okay, and whoever has the best record in your group during those weeks. Yeah. Now in week 8, we're going to have a knockout round. Okay. And then we're going to have the semifinals in week 9 and the championship in week 10.
Well, you know where they got this idea from, right? Soccer. Because soccer does it. They have in-season tournaments, not just your league games, but in-season. Think about this. When the Mavericks played Oklahoma City, and that was that like a semifinal or a quarterfinal? I forgot what it was. I actually watched it just out of curiosity, right? I wouldn't have watched 4 quarters of NBA basketball in December. And what they're trying to do is make it so you and me would not watch if Milwaukee was playing the Nets. Or
Oklahoma City on a regular game.
You're not going to watch it. And at this point, even the Mavericks, just let me know when the fourth quarter starts.
The only reason I watch it is because no other football was on Tuesday night.
Right. And
you
the rest
weren't
of
aware of the Frisco Bowl.
I was not.
And the rest of TV is so bad,
some of the
right?
Frisco Bowl if I would have known it was on. I would say that.
There's 2 games tonight. There's 2 games tonight.
But I'll watch the NBA. But I'll watch it once the playoffs hit. And that's my whole beef about the NBA to begin with is it's like preseason games all the way to the.
You already know it. You said it. You got to create the excitement on a Tuesday night. You just have to do that. I mean, they have no choice but to do that.
Nate must have something to say about this.
Nate does.
Yeah, here we go, and this is exactly the reason. Nate in Frisco has chimed in. This all started because players are not playing 70 to 80 games a year now. It's because of the load management.
You can't load management now.
And I must say, when it is an in-season tournament game, you don't see much participation from superstars. This might be the game where it's like even LeBron is like, man, my foot hurts now. He's to use him as an example is bad because he takes pride in playing every game, but you have some superstars out there be like, hey, I'm going to chill.
In the one league that you probably need load management in is football, and you don't have to.
No, you never do that.
You don't.
Players ain't having that.
You don't have to trick it up at all in football.
I can't see a game where, hey, Everson, you staying out this game. No, man, what are you talking about? I ain't staying out of the game.
Everson, you came along too soon. Is it Bucs Baker?
Yeah.
Signed that extension.
Oh.
$45 million.
Yeah.
Is he a safety? He's a
safety.
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 Yeah.
A good safety, too.
Yeah.
How much did he get?
45 extension million.
That's his extension.
I didn't see what the years were.
Well, that's not that much.
It is for a safety.
That's like an offensive
That's like
guard.
playing a guard. Took it right out of my. See, you could have a free second-year free agent play guard.
Oh man! Didn't you say you had to go somewhere, Mickey, or was that yesterday?
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
That just crossed my mind too. It's like, did I have something to do early today?
3-year extension worth $54 million, $30 million guaranteed.
$30 million guaranteed sounds good.
That's pretty good. As Pat Summerall said that day, we all came around too soon.
All right, we don't have time to get into this, but the way Osa is playing,
yes,
and
I know.
Rico is playing.
I know what you're saying.
And they're in their contract year.
But think about this. What's going to differentiate Osa is they don't have anybody in the wings waiting to take that position over. They're going to have to pay.
They do at running back?
Well, you're not going to pay the running back what a defensive tackle can make that's playing as well as he
that's
is.
the problem is that, okay, how much money do you have to pay that defensive tackle
You're going to have to figure it out because think about it.
And
he's playing.
Okay, how
and
about
I
this?
looked it up. Okay, he's almost played 80% of the snaps this year as a defensive tackle, and in the last 5 games, the fewest percentage he's played is 78.
Are there conversations going on right now?
I would think so.
With Osa's agent,
I would
to
think
try
so.
to get something done.
Can you take a $15 million signing bonus 4 months, 5 months earlier?
And would it benefit them? Do they have room on the cap
to put some
this
of it
year?
This year, there's a little left over. Yeah, I was thinking.
Is that something that we can look at here before the end of the regular season, where they know that they don't have to add, or they know where they are cap wise, and you can use up whatever you got left on an extension for somebody?
Because
you don't want him to hit the market
on the website.
The market takes it beyond.
Take to a whole nother level.
We do a mailbag, and that was the question for the one that I participate in for today about Osa, and it's like, yeah, you're right. I mean, they got Mozzie, right? Who's the next defensive tackle that's not
it's the
35 years old?
Right.
There's nobody. There's nobody on the practice squad.
We're dumping those guys, right?
Well, it's a 1-year deal. How much you have to pay to get them back, right? Which happened with
Phillips.
No, who was the defensive tackle last year, and he ended up going to Seattle. Jonathan Hankins. They wanted him back, right? And they were going to pay him what Seattle paid him, but he wanted.
But he's a different type player than Osa.
He's not your 3 technique.
Yeah.
But they wanted to bring him back, but the Cowboys' defensive line coach went there to Seattle to be the defensive coordinator. So he decided he was going there because he had a relationship with him. But they wanted him back.
So you got to figure out where Osa fits with his numbers that he's put up in 4 years in the league. Where does he fit with the top defensive tackles? And that's the tricky part on it.
Well, do they go by what he's doing as an individual, or are they looking at what we're doing as a team? Because if you look at how we're doing as a team, I don't think his value is that much. But if you look at how he plays for us as an individual, in his own little square space, he would be probably more impressive.
Well, let me throw this out at you. Osa Odighizuwa ranks 3rd in the Cowboys with 4 sacks. With a sack on Sunday, he will set the single-season career high in sacks for himself. Per NFL Pro, Odighizuwa has generated 32 pressures over the past 7 weeks, the most pressures among defensive tackles during that span.
In 7 weeks, you said?
Yeah.
Okay,
So that's what he's doing.
And that's just not those 3 games against lesser opponents.
Right.
We're talking about those tough games, 4 previous games before that.
And when you look at the market for defensive tackles, Nnamdi Madubuike last year, he had double-figure sacks.
Good job on the word.
Okay. He's out of McKinney. He got a 4-year, $98 million
Yeah,
contract.
well, that ain't happening
Right,
here.
exactly. And that's what I'm saying is where does Osa fit if he hits the free agent market?
Well, the higher that number
realm?
is, then it's still better off for him. Yeah. I mean, it still sets the tone.
Mm-hmm. So and that's what you're dealing with when you say, hey, let's do a deal now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's got to look at it that, okay, if I do hit the market, where can it go?
Can I get 3 years, $34 million?
Well, along those lines, I'm looking for one that is in that range. What you're looking at, I don't know if it was last year. Yeah, it would have been last year. Sheldon Rankins at age 30 got 3 years, $24 million. But he's okay. Osa's like age 26,
Right.
27. So there's Zach Allen, Broncos got. I'm trying to get the 3 years, $45 million. He's age 27. Ed Oliver was more.
Osa's
4 years, $68 million.
Osa's 26, so he'll turn 27 next
That's
year.
a good age. That's
That's prime,
age.
right?
Yes, it is.
He is how old?
26 now.
Okay,
so
right.
27
So Ed
next
Oliver,
year, unless he's got a birthday in a week.
Ed Oliver, age 27, he becomes a free agent in 28. So this is a new deal. He was 4 years, $68 million, $17 million a year.
But remember, this is his first year to play, I think, to this level. Now, he was good his other couple of years, but this
clearly
he has
numbers
stepped
show
out,
that,
right?
Okay, Devon Hamilton, Jaguars, 27 years old, 3 years, $34.5 million.
Hit it right on the head. I should go be an agent.
All right.
Got to go.
Okay, and we will chat at
Chris.
you again
Stomach's
tomorrow here on Mick Shot.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!